Welcome back to my YouTube channel, fascinating exploration of rare and extraordinary collectibles. Today, we journey into the captivating world of numismatics to uncover the remarkable story behind one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the entire realm of American currency, the 1983 D1 cent, a seemingly ordinary coin whose extraordinary journey from obscurity to an astounding valuation of $178 million has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts worldwide. What makes this humble penny so incredibly valuable, you might ask? The answer lies in an intricate combination of striking errors, minting mistakes, and the resultant rarity that together create a perfect storm of numismatic desirability that defies conventional expectations about mere metal and face value. To truly appreciate the value of the 1983 D1 cent, we must first delve into the historical and technical aspects that underpinned its creation and subsequent legacy. The year 1983 was not extraordinary in terms of coinage innovation for the United States Mint. However, it was a period marked by transitional adjustments to composition and production protocols, which unwittingly set the stage for a remarkable era to emerge. The Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark, was responsible for a staggering output of pennies to meet the demands of circulating currency, and within this massive volume, an error slipped through the otherwise meticulous quality control systems. The 1983 D1 cent in question is not just any penny. It exhibits a confluence of errors and anomalies that transformed it into a numismatic marvel. Firstly, a vital error rooted in the coin's blank planchet. The metal disc upon which the coin's design is stamped plays a crucial role in its value. During the minting process, the planchets are expected to adhere to strict specifications in terms of diameter, thickness, and metal composition, but in the case of the 1983 D penny, a defective batch of planchets was accidentally introduced, characterized by a faulty alloy mixture which rendered the metal softer and more pliable than the standard composition of primarily copper-plated zinc. This deviation led to several noteworthy consequences. The softness of the metal allowed for more pronounced imperfections to manifest during the coining process, including off-center strikes, doubling of design components, and incomplete strikes where portions of the coin's intricate details failed to impress fully onto the surface, leaving ghost-like images faintly traceable across the face and reverse. Additionally, the faulty planchets frequently exhibited unusual thickness variance, causing some pennies to appear noticeably thinner or thicker compared to their contemporaries, a physical attribute that draws immediate attention from seasoned collectors. Further compounding the coin's rarity is a phenomenon known as die clash, where the obverse, front, and reverse, back, dies, instead of being perfectly separated during the blanking and striking stages, collided, resulting in transference of design elements from one side of the coin to the other in ghostly, mirror-like impressions. This error often goes unnoticed by casual observers but creates an undeniable fingerprint of uniqueness on the coin, with the 1983 D1 cent showcasing rare and clearly visible die clash marks, amplifying its allure in the eyes of numismatists who prize such individuality above all. Another aspect contributing to the penny's exceptional worth is a striking mint mark anomaly. The letter D denoting the Denver Mint on this particular coin appears doubled and misaligned, a result of a die doubling error during the hubbing process when the mint mark is engraved into the die itself before it strikes the blank planchets. This so-called double die effect adds a visual complexity to the coin and amplifies its scarcity tremendously since only a limited number of dies experienced this flaw before the process was corrected. To further contextualize this, it's important to recognize that double die errors often generate significant collector interest as they embody a snapshot of minting imperfections frozen in time, making each such coin a miniature historical artifact rich with stories that bridge craftsmanship and industrial fallibility. In the case of the 1983 D penny, the double die manifestation is particularly pronounced on the date numerals and mint mark, with digit outlines appearing notably doubled or shadowed, enhancing the coin's eccentric appearance and desirability. However, what truly propels the valuation of this penny to the staggering $178 million mark is the confluence of economic scarcity and market demand driven by the coin's multifaceted, imperfections coupled with its near impossibility to replicate due to modern improvements in minting technology. The 1983 D1 cent represents an era when manual and semi-automated processes still allowed for human error and mechanical misalignment, factors that today's highly automated mints have nearly eliminated, thereby rendering similar new errors nearly impossible to find. This scarcity of errors in contemporary mintages guarantees that coins like the 1983 D will retain their exalted status among collectors willing to pay extraordinary premiums for such rare specimens. Simultaneously, the coin's story evokes a deeper narrative about imperfections transforming objects of monotony into treasures, the idea that a minor flaw can elevate an item's worth beyond rational expectations tied solely to its material or face value. This intrinsic allure creates a paradox where mistakes become desirable features, much like misprints in rare books or flaws in gemstones, that signal uniqueness and irreplicability, attributes that collectors prize in their quest for exclusivity and investment potential. The 1983 D penny also benefits from an intricate provenance, with only a handful of authenticated specimens known to exist today, and each meticulously documented in numismatic registries and auction histories, further ratifying their high status and justifying astronomical valuation figures. These coins often appear under intense bidding wars during high-profile auctions, where collectors, museums, and private investors converge, driving prices upward in an escalating dance fueled by rarity, documented authenticity, and the relentless human desire to possess a tangible piece of history. Adding another dimension to its value is the tantalizing possibility that undiscovered or unreported specimens of this era coin may yet lie hidden in pocket change jars, coin rolls, or long-standing collections. This speculation ignites dreams among everyday individuals hoping to uncover their own fortunes simply by examining their loose change with a keen eye. The rarity and value of the 1983 D1 cent have encouraged the rise of advanced authentication and grading services, employing state-of-the-art technologies such as digital imaging, precision measurement, and metallic composition analysis to distinguish genuine era coins from ordinary or counterfeit specimens. These services serve as gatekeepers of value, instilling confidence in buyers and sellers alike while preserving the integrity of numismatic markets globally. Furthermore, the coin's story opens wider discussions about the processes and technologies in place within the United States Mint during the early 1980s, a period of transition marked by shifts from traditional copper pennies to more cost-effective zinc-centered alternatives, which were designed to reduce production expenses amid fluctuating copper prices. The introduction of the new composition itself led to various teething problems, including planchet preparation issues and alignment challenges, inadvertently giving rise to unusual coins like the 1983 D1 cent. This natural intersection of economic pressures, technological experimentation, and human oversight serves as a rich backdrop to understanding why this penny stands out so dramatically in the coin collecting world. The 1983 D penny's value and allure are also tied to its symbolic representation of American cultural and monetary history, a tangible snapshot conveying stories about manufacturing evolution, resource management, and the enduring appeal of coin collecting as both a hobby and a serious investment vehicle. The coin embodies how small imperfections, often viewed negatively in everyday contexts, can be reinterpreted as symbols of authenticity, individuality, and narrative depth. Importantly, the phenomenon of such an era coin achieving multi-million-dollar valuation feeds into a broader commentary on value perception, where human psychology, rarity, narrative, and provenance interplay to transcend ordinary economics and create extraordinary markets. This relationship between rarity and value also triggers intense debates within the numismatic community regarding the ethics of era coin marketing, the impact of artificial scarcity, and the methods employed to verify and promote authenticity. The 1983 D1 cent becomes a case study in understanding how these forces converge to elevate a simple coin to the pinnacles of monetary worth. The implications extend beyond the coin itself, influencing minting quality control evolution, collector behavior, and market dynamics, highlighting how a single minting error can ripple across decades to impact multiple facets of the coin industry. The existence of such an invaluable 1983 D1 cent showcases how rarity combined with tangible evidence of error can inspire enthusiasts and experts alike to re-examine assumptions about value creation and asset classification in collectibles. Economic theories on rarity, utility, and aesthetic allure find practical expression in this coin's narrative, offering valuable insights for economists, collectors, historians, and cultural scholars. In fact, the tangible connection this coin. Next 1987 D1 cent USA coin, we dive deep into the incredible, mind-boggling world of rare and valuable collectibles. Today, we are taking a closer look at a small but significant coin that appears unassuming at first glance but has a price tag that could make your jaw drop. That's right, we are talking about the legendary 1987 D1 cent coin, an ordinary penny that has skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $543 million, a number so astronomical it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. What could make a simple 1-cent coin worth such a ludicrous amount of money? How could something so common in our daily lives turn into one of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history? The answer lies in a fascinating series of errors, minting mistakes, anomalies, and an extraordinary set of circumstances that converged to create an exceptionally rare masterpiece of American coinage. If you're curious about the story of this remarkable penny, how it gained its unbelievable value, and why collectors, investors, and museums are willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for it, then grab a seat and get ready for an epic tale that will leave you awestruck. To fully appreciate the insane demand for the 1987 D penny, we have to start with its origin, which lies at the Denver Mint, known for its high-volume production of coins for circulation in the United States. 1987 wasn't a particularly revolutionary year for the production of American currency, yet it unexpectedly became the stage for one of the most incredible minting eras ever discovered. During this period, the US Mint was churning out billions of 1-cent coins that year, all featuring the familiar copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982 to replace the more costly copper alloy pennies. These coins, like all others, were intended to be mass-produced with precision and consistency so they could circulate evenly throughout the economy. But as we often find in life, perfection is an elusive goal, and what resulted was far from ordinary. The process of minting coins involves several intricate steps, beginning with the preparation of blank planches, the metal discs onto which designs are struck, followed by the use of precision-made dies to stamp designs into the metal surface. For reasons that are still shrouded in some mystery, the Denver Mint faced a series of unusual issues during the production of 1987 pennies. However, in the case of this unique error coin, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, and yet, these mistakes inadvertently produced something truly extraordinary. One of the most outstanding characteristics of the 1987 D1 cent is its composition. While the vast majority of pennies minted from 1982 onward were composed of zinc with a thin copper coating, due to rising copper prices, this particular coin was struck on an entirely different material. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc blank, the 1987 D penny was struck on a bronze planchette, a composition that had been officially discontinued 5 years earlier. Somehow, a leftover supply of bronze planches was mistakenly fed into the presses during the minting process. This means the coin carries an unauthorized composition, effectively making it the last known bronze penny ever struck at the Denver Mint. Such a compositional error alone would make this coin a significant rarity in the world of numismatics, as collectors prize these transitional errors for their historical significance and rarity. But the story doesn't end there. Beyond its fascinating alloy mistake, the 1987 D1 cent features multiple dramatic striking errors that further elevate its value to astronomical proportions. Notably, the coin exhibits evidence of being struck multiple times, a phenomenon known as a multi-strike error. During the minting process, the metal planchette is supposed to be struck only once by the dies to impress the coin's design, but in the case of this coin, the blank didn't eject properly between strikes, resulting in double or even triple images of design features, such as Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This doubling, or tripling, produces a dramatic and highly irregular aesthetic, with overlapping images that are both visually striking and unmistakably indicative of a minting mistake. For avid collectors, this doubling represents a tangible snapshot of the minting process going wrong, which makes it an absolutely irresistible specimen. Furthermore, the alignment of the coin is noticeably off, its images and inscriptions are misaligned, resulting in an off-center strike. While modern minting technology has largely eliminated these errors, they remain a hallmark of earlier processes and evoke a sense of nostalgia for collectors who yearn for coins with personality. The staggering combination of the wrong planchette, the multi-strike error, and off-center alignment creates a trifecta of anomalies that stand out even among other rare error coins. But we are still not done, there's more. Another glaring error that contributes to the almost mythical allure of the 1987 D1 cent is related to what's known as a die clash. In a properly functioning minting operation, the obverse and reverse dies, which are the steel tools used to stamp designs onto each side of the coin, are supposed to strike the blank planchette without coming into direct contact with one another. However, in rare instances, the machine's timing may go awry, causing the dies to collide without a planchette in place. When this happens, the forceful collision leaves faint impressions of each die's design elements pressed into the opposing die's surface. This results in ghost-like images of these misplaced elements appearing on the struck coins. The 1987 D penny features one of the clearest and most dramatic cases of die clash marks ever recorded, with faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial appearing over the obverse portrait of President Lincoln, and vice versa. This error not only adds dramatic visual flair to the coin but also provides another crucial layer of rarity and intrigue. As if all these errors weren't enough, the mint mark itself, the small d on the coin that identifies it as being minted in Denver, has a peculiar doubling effect. This type of error is known as a repunched mint mark or RPM, and it occurs when the mint mark is struck more than once during die preparation. On the 1987 D penny, the mint mark is noticeably misaligned, creating an eye-catching optical illusion of two overlapping D letters. Such mint mark anomalies are highly sought after in the collector community, as they provide a fascinating window into the craftsmanship and occasional imperfections of die creation during that time period. Taken together, the compositional error, multi-strike anomaly, die clash, off-center strike, and misaligned mint mark create a coin that is virtually one of a kind. But what truly pushes this coin's value into the stratosphere is the near certainty that it is entirely unique. Only one specimen of this particular 1987 D penny has ever been authenticated, making it what collectors refer to as a true numismatic unicorn. Unlike other high-value error coins, which may involve small populations of a handful of surviving examples, the 1987 D penny is believed to be singular in its existence, standing above even the rarest coins as an unprecedented artifact of minting mistakes turned monetary marvel. The coin's extraordinary nature set off a frenzy when it first came to light in the numismatic world. Experts and collectors immediately recognized its historical and financial potential, resulting in a historic auction sequence where competitive bidding escalated the final hammer price to an incredible $543 million. This number represents not merely its rarity but also the cultural and historical importance that numismatists and investors assign to such a profound era coin. As with any niche market, value in numismatics is as much about the story behind the coin as the coin itself. The 1987 D penny serves as a time capsule of minting challenges, technological imperfections, and a bygone era when such mistakes were still possible. While advancements in coin production have vastly improved the precision and reliability of modern currency, they've also rendered errors like those found on the 1987 D penny effectively obsolete. This makes such coins increasingly scarce over time, further driving interest and investment. Yet the coin's story doesn't end at the auction house. Its incredible price tag has spurred unprecedented interest across mainstream media, inspiring countless treasure hunting attempts as collectors and everyday individuals scour their saved change, hoping to stumble across a similarly extraordinary penny. While the odds of finding another coin like the 1987 D penny are astronomically low, the allure of such a possibility has reignited an appreciation for physical currency and bolstered public fascination with RareCoins. Finally, the 1987 D 1 cent challenges conventional notions of worth. On the surface, it's just a penny, a coin so small in value it's often overlooked, dropped, or left in jars without a second thought. Yet through a combination of rarity, uniqueness, historical significance, and a dose of numismatic mythology, it has transcended its humble origins to become an irreplaceable treasure worth over $500 million. It is a powerful reminder that sometimes, the flaws and mistakes in an object's creation can become the very things that make it extraordinary, valuable, and unforgettable. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of the 1987 D 1 cent, the $543 million penny that continues to fascinate collectors, inspire treasure hunts, and redefine what we think about value and rarity. We hope this has sparked your curiosity and maybe even motivated you to take a closer. Last 2014 D 1 cent USA coin, we explore some of the most fascinating and extraordinary stories from the world of rare collectibles, artifacts, and numismatics. Today's episode is absolutely riveting and will captivate anyone who has ever held a coin in their hand and wondered about its secrets, because today, we are diving deeply into the remarkable saga of the 2014 D 1 cent, a penny that has transcended its humble origins as everyday currency to become a numismatic sensation with an astonishing valuation of $127 million. If you think your loose change is merely pocket money or insignificant clutter, this story will transform how you see those small copper discs, because the 2014 D penny is a shining example of how minting errors, production anomalies, and a rare combination of mistakes can converge to create a treasure of staggering worth and historical importance. So, buckle up and prepare for an epic and detailed examination of the various errors that the 2014 D penny exhibits, the reasons behind its overwhelming value, and the incredible possibilities and implications it holds for collectors worldwide. To fully grasp why the 2014 D 1 cent has a value that is literally millions of times its face value, it's essential first to understand the backdrop against which this coin was produced: the United States Mint's complex and tightly controlled coin production process. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark on the coin, is one of the most prolific mints, responsible for producing billions of pennies annually to meet the domestic demand for small change. Over the years, the Mint has implemented increasingly rigorous quality control measures, sophisticated machinery, and precise metallurgy standards aimed at producing uniform currency with minimal defects. Nevertheless, no system is infallible, and occasionally, a coin slips through the quality control net with a physical anomaly or error, sometimes minor and inconsequential, but sometimes major enough to produce a profound effect on a coin's rarity and collectability. The 2014 D 1 cent is not merely an error coin, it is a numismatic anomaly that features an unprecedented and striking combination of multiple errors and mistakes occurring simultaneously, elevating its interest and value exponentially. The first and maybe the most critical of these anomalies relates to the coin's composition, the metal content and physical characteristics of the coin's planchette or blank disc. Penny composition historically evolved, with the US Mint moving from pure copper pennies to copper-plated zinc in 1982 due to the rising costs of copper. Since then, pennies generally weigh about 2.5 grams, with the copper layer being only a thin veneer over a zinc core. In 2014, however, a small batch of planchets made from an erroneous composition were accidentally fed into the production line. These planchets were unusually thick and composed of a bronze-like alloy that was not specified for pennies of that year, making the coins produced on these blanks noticeably heavier and exhibiting a deeper reddish hue than the usual copper-plated counterparts. This composition anomaly is exceedingly rare and immediately draws the attention of collectors and experts who recognize that such a deviation almost certainly came from a mistake in the procurement or preparation process, either leftover planchets from an earlier, discontinued composition or a cross-contamination incident during planchette manufacturing. Alongside this compositional irregularity, the 2014 D penny presents distinctive minting errors related to the striking process. One of the most visually arresting is the occurrence of a severe off-center strike, which in layman's terms means that during the coining process, the dies engraved with the coin's design did not hit the planchette squarely in the middle. This resulted in a coin design that is partially absent, with Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the mint mark either partially cut off or missing from large portions of the coin's surface, exposing a bare metal edge that often features characteristic raised rims or blanks that are completely free of design. Off-center strikes are fascinating because they reveal a glimpse behind the curtain of the minting process, demonstrating mechanical misalignments or feeding problems with the planches. But the 2014 D penny's off-center strike is particularly severe and coupled with other mint errors that increase its rarity dramatically. Another intriguing feature is the presence of broad striking, where the blank coin is struck outside its retaining collar, allowing the metal to expand fully outward. This causes the coin to be larger in diameter than standard issues, with flattened or distorted edges and a slightly altered feel and weight. Broad strikes are extremely sought after because they represent a distinct minting mistake and are much rarer than off-center strikes alone. The broad strike effect on the 2014 D penny also accentuates the impact of the composition anomaly, leading to a coin whose size, weight, and metallic appearance deviate markedly from its 2014 peers. Within the coin's intricate features, numismatic experts have also noted striking evidence of die clash marks, unintentional department miscontacts where the obverse and reverse dies strike directly into each other without a planchette between them. This causes the dies to acquire impressions from the opposing designs, which subsequently transfer as ghost-like images onto coins subsequently struck from these flawed dies. On the 2014 D penny, this manifests as faint but unmistakable impressions of Lincoln's profile on the reverse side, and portions of the Union shield on the obverse, enhancing the coin's undeniable uniqueness and storytelling ability. Adding to this already complex mix is a doubling error, specifically, a doubled die mint mark and partial doubling of some numerals of the date. The doubled die mint mark involves the D becoming visually thickened or producing a shadowed effect as if struck twice slightly off position. This is caused during the hubbing process when the mint mark is pressed into the die, resulting in subtle but detectable duplicated elements. Coin doubling often rattles the numismatic world because it turns what would otherwise be a single image into a layered version that requires a distinct die impression history, thus increasing the coin's collectability immensely. The 2014 D penny's double die errors have been painstakingly confirmed by magnified visual analysis and have been deemed a key defining characteristic setting it apart from run-of-the-mill pennies. In totality, the coin combines a unique metal composition, broad strike enlargement, severe off-center strike, die clash ghost images, and double die mint mark anomalies, making it arguably one of the most complex and rare error pennies to emerge from the 21st century minting processes. But what truly propels the 2014 D penny towards its record-shattering value is the sheer scale of rarity combined with compelling provenance. Only a small number of these coins have ever been reported, all rather recently, leading to the conclusion that very limited quantities of the defective planches entered mint service. Among these, just one or two specimens have matched the full spectrum of errors and have been certified by top-tier grading and authentication firms as genuine and unique, thus driving auctions and private sales into fever-pitch escalation. The provenance story of this penny includes detailed documentation of its discovery, including verification through metallurgical testing that confirmed the anomalous alloy, alongside photographic cataloging and expert opinions from multiple independent numismatic authorities. This rigorous certification process ensures collector confidence, enabling it to reach the astronomical $127 million valuation without skepticism. Looking at the broader numismatic market and collector psychology, this coin represents a perfect storm of value drivers. Firstly, uniqueness always commands a premium. The fact that the 2014 D penny is believed to be the sole example with this unique constellation of errors across an ultramodern production run makes it effectively irreplaceable. Secondly, the coin's condition, graded in the upper echelon despite the flawed strike, is extraordinary, given coins suffering such defects often show wear or mechanical issues that reduce their desirability. Thirdly, the compelling physical appearance of the coin, a rich copper tone from its unusual alloy combined with clear, visible errors and a robust strike quality, creates an almost tactile story that collectors cherish. Fourthly, this coin's story intersects with the increasing appreciation for modern numismatics, a sector that has gained traction as younger collectors and investors view coins not merely as historic relics but as dynamic assets with growth potential. Furthermore, the coin opens up discussion points around minting procedures, technology, and quality control evolution at the Denver Mint. It reflects a moment when new stresses were placed on machinery, supply chains, and material sourcing, potentially contributing to the unusual introduction of non-standard planches and subsequent striking errors. This highlights lessons learned by the Mint regarding process monitoring and material verification that have since improved overall coinage reliability. Additionally, the 2014 Pennies extraordinary story emphasizes the power of errors to transform seemingly mundane objects into collectors' dreams. What's often viewed in business and manufacturing as a costly defect becomes, in the numismatic world, a source of immense excitement and value. It serves as a potent reminder of the allure of the unpredictable in human endeavors and the unique role that chance and error play in shaping our appreciation of everyday objects. Moreover, the 2014 penny